to re-log in with a new code every 30 days is annoying.
I have to surrender to the tyranny of this aging computer and close some tabs if I want to get any performance out of it tonight. Because my camera is so frozen.
I see that, yes. I do not have permission to look at my own creator dashboard on Twitch.
Why would you want to do that?
Right? In theory, we're currently streaming. So, hi, people on the stream.
Hello, theoretical people.
I can see us on YouTube. Oh.
It's Brandis?
It's working. It's working because I'm hearing myself.
My camera's so frozen. I can't do much about that right now.
It's okay.
I mean, as long as you come in, you're coming in clear to listen to. I don't care if your camera's frozen. Doesn't bother me.
I mean, it'd be nice if I were making a somewhat human face, but
I have seen people get frozen on worse faces.
Yeah. So, how's
Interestingly, the Twitch stream just has it says we're offline. Well, you know what? Nobody's watched us on Twitch in a while anyway, so I don't care. Well, all right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hang it in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited to talk about the hated Gaik. Always makes me happy. Hey,
You're moving again.
Neat.
You're no longer stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can close some stuff to make it go a little better.
It's showing your connection is in the green now, whereas before it was in the yellow and red. So,
Wow.
at least on this end.
Yeah.
Well, we're ready to get started.
Let's do it.
I know it's not 7:30 yet, Jared.
You got to learn to work the contract, Jared. Only the contract.
Yeah, you're not getting paid overtime for this. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you your salary times 3.
It's a really good bonus. You should go for that, buddy.
Let me hit record. Now we're recording. All right, so we're streaming, we're recording, and there's even people in the stream. So we'll go from there. Everybody ready to go?
Sure.
Oh, actually,
Yep.
Yeah.
I should check people's levels on the recording. Tracy, say a thing.
Saying a thing.
And Brandis?
Je dis quelque chose.
And Jared.
I don't know other languages.
I just did my Duolingo after I finished scripting and had a little bit of time, so.
I have not done my Duolingo yet today, and it's so mad at me.
Yeah, it's almost aggressive in the messages, the reminders it sends sometimes.
It's sort of a pushy asshole, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Trace, you ready?
Sure.
I don't have any Skittles for you tonight, but. All right. Let's go. This episode of the Tome Show is brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you to our patrons at patreon.com/The Tome Show. Welcome to The Tome, a D&D news, reviews, and interviews show, and I'm your Tome host, Jeff Greiner.
And I'm Tracy Hurley, and in this episode, number 405, where we're gonna try not to catch rotting disease, as we look at the 2024-25 version of the Monster Manual in part 24 of the series.
And joining us for this episode is the Mind Flayer of the Tome Show, Brandis Stoddard comes to us from Dimension 20, Worlds Beyond Number, and many other things, as well as being a Tome Show regular, and is well known for wanting to eat your brain.
That's not unusual.
And also with us, as usual, is the Minotaur of the Tome Show. Jared Rasher comes to us from What Do I Know JR, Gnome Stew, and his podcast, They Go With Advantage, and lives in the maze of educational bureaucracy.
Pretty much, and also I am full of bull. So there you go.
Double meaning.
We are still talking about the latest monster manual.
Going great, guys.
It is
D&D
going.
5e got an update in 2024, and we're doing a monster by monster dive into this book. And so to get us started, it's disclosure time. Jared purchased this book, and the rest of us got review copies.
Yeah, no, when this whole thing started, I thought maybe it'd be at most a 16-part episode or 16-part review where we would go through each letter of the alphabet, but here we are.
You're a fool.
Who did you invite on here, Jeff? Who did you invite?
No, it's fine.
I was like, I'm doing my part to keep to that. But
Look, we have established repeatedly in these episodes that it is Tracy's fault.
No, I think that's true. We've definitely seen that. So, all right. So we are starting with the hated geek, as Brandis oftentimes refers to them. Although I don't know that phrase came about until Baldur's Gate 3.
My etymology of GIF is not good. I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't know if the Larian Studios folks made up a little bit of Gith language for us to get geek, or if that was pre-established in the lore. But we're talking about Mind Flayers to start with. So I'm going to start off by saying, as usual, I like that we have a new stat block for Mind Flayers, although this is not the first time we've seen Mind Flayer Arcanist. I'm not super. This is one of those updates where I'm not super fond of the update. Everything is either the same or a little bit weaker with a little bit of math to make up for it in a way that just doesn't come off the same.
I beg to differ about one thing. If the Mind Flayer hits you, you are automatically grappled and stunned. You don't save. Did
you have a save before? You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. So that's true. I like that then. The mind blast is worse in that it used to last for a minute and now it lasts for just one turn.
Right. I mean, stunned for a minute is sort of so awful. That's like ruin your whole night awful.
Well,
I mean, an important part of sort of the story of the Mind Flayer, but it's also ruin your whole night awful.
Right. And it's one of the things, like, people are scared of Mind Flayers. And the reason people are scared of Mind Flayers is because of that Mind Blast. More than anything else, I would argue.
So I agree with you partly. I do think that they're kind of at a where, well, I can't really be scared. I can't do anything about this problem at all other than try to save every round. So, like, because my buddies passed their saves, it's not actually a very hard fight. Like, looking at 5.0, like 15 AC and 71 hit points at CR7, that is fragile. That is vulnerable. And like, if you have party members who survive that and get on them, it's over fast.
Right.
Which it has to be. That's the dynamic. Like, they're fundamentally a glass cannon, right? And I don't have a problem with being a glass cannon. I do think that long duration, like, you're just fully out of this, and it's going to be about whether you can get your get your int save to hit that 15. Like, there's some things now that your party members can do about it to, for example, bolster your save, but
Mhm.
It would be very easy for this to be just, we had one fight tonight and I was in no rounds of it because I lost initiative, and that was that. And
No, and
that's
like,
gonna be rough.
and I get that, and generally speaking, I agree. I don't know, like in my mind, Mind Flayers could maybe be the exception, or make it so that it only lasts for one round, fine, but make it recharge on a 4, 5, and 6, or make the DC a little bit higher because it's not going to last very long anyway. Honestly, anytime you see a save at the end of your turn every turn and it lasts for X number of minutes, the X number of minutes doesn't matter. It almost never lasts more than like 3 rounds anyway.
Oh, right. And like the official math assumes that you fail the initial and pass the save at your first opportunity after.
Right.
That's what they literally assume is going to happen in the math.
Right. And even if you're, in this case, intelligence save sucks, you're still going to get there usually within 3, on a really bad night, 4 saves, or a party member is going to cast a spell to get you out of it, cast a restoration or whatever.
So I hear what you're saying about 3 or 4 saves. It's just that 3 or 4 saves is
the whole fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. And normally I agree. I just feel like I want the Mind Flayer to have a little, I might house rule it that it recharges a little bit easier so they can do it more often since it doesn't last very long.
Sure.
I would like to point out, though, it is averaging 9 more points of damage.
It is doing more damage.
Mind Blast.
Yeah, I just don't know that the 9 damage is the equivalent of what they lost for it.
I mean, it's a 60-foot cone, so that's 9 damage across potentially the entire party, though.
Yeah.
Potentially the entire party. Like, realistically, the game assumes 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 60 feet.
So other than the changes to Mind Blast, the changes to the tentacle attack that now has an automatic grapple and stun, and more hit points, it seems like the Mind Flayer is almost the same. Oh, it has psychic resistance now. It didn't used to.
There's also one important point, most likely because of Baldur's Gate. They have a fly speed now because they fly all over the place in Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, that's
it. Yeah.
You know what that is, though. In the previous version, they had levitate at will, and that's what was being depicted as the flying. Now they don't have levitate; they just fly.
Oh. Yeah, levitate is sort of not great at that. Like,
yeah,
levitate will is better at making making a melee character just totally helpless while you mind blast them at your leisure, which is good family fun for the Mind Flayer, who is, of course, the important person to entertain here. I will briefly circle back to say, according to the Forgotten Realms fandom wiki, Gaik was created by Larian.
Oh, okay. Thanks for looking that up.
So, because my brain is having a hard time thinking of the circumstance under which this would happen, I need to pick Brandis's brain, as I often do, because he is much smarter about these things. If you have the stun condition until the grapple ends, how would you make an escape DC?
You get you mostly don't, right? You mostly get teleported by your friends or something, but right, like
it's just it's just interesting,
right? Like, so stun condition till the grapple ends, right? Like, all of the things that can get you out of that do not invoke the escape DC, but that's okay. They included pro forma, but like freedom of action going to do it real good.
Well, and the reason,
Yeah.
the reason that matters, I think, is because D&D is a game of exceptions, right? The exceptions override everything. And if you have somebody that somehow has immunity to stun,
Yeah,
then
Yep.
they need to
That
have
is
some way for them to get out of the grapple.
And
That
Beth
is
is
true.
very correct about that. I can't
yeah.
think of anything off the dome that gives you immunity to stunned, but you're absolutely right that it could happen.
Yeah, and it could be a homebrew thing that causes you to be immune to stun. But
Yeah,
I know a +7 is not like a whopping bonus to hit, but I also feel like that the fact that it hits you and grapples you and you are stunned as long as you are grappled does kind of fill in the gap of the mind blast not knocking you out for a minute, because until you're not in the loving tentacle arms that you are wrapped up in, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, so the big deal is that you don't get a separate intelligence save in the space between grappled and stunned, which you did in 5.0. That's absolutely huge.
Yeah,
And
it is.
Congratulations, you're just unlocked until I decide to kill you. It's awful. It's awful.
So they are a different type of scary now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say being grappled and not able to move right next to a thing that will literally eat your brain should be kind of scary for you.
Yeah.
I did. I ran Phandelver and Below campaign, and in that last fight, I did have one character like literally within 5 hit points of having their brain extracted. It was a pretty scary moment for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that I mean, Jared, you've got so much to look forward to once you get back to my tabletop game, man. Just
I know.
Like you have so many hit points to feed to my Mind Flayer. It's great.
So, what would make the tentacle attack more scary is if there was something in between the Mind Flayer and the Mind Flayer Arcanist, because the Arcanist has multi-attack and can attack with its tentacles multiple times and theoretically hit a bunch of people, but its tentacles don't stun and don't grapple.
Yeah, we do get some other Mind Flayer like stat blocks from other 5e products, so they're in D&D Beyond. That's a thing.
Do we have others in 5.5? There are 5.5 stat blocks.
I wouldn't bet on it, but I'm not looking it up right now.
I wouldn't bet on it yet. Now it'll only be a matter of time, but
I mean, absolutely for sure there is going to be more Mind Flayer content, presuming WotC doesn't fall over as a company tomorrow.
Right. Which I wouldn't want to make any random assumptions at this point or any other point.
Honestly, at this point, I would bet on Hasbro folding before Wizards.
Well, one of them has finances in the black and the other doesn't. So, but
the Arcanist is weird to me because Arcane Tentacles, I'm having a hard time. It's another one of those kind of hand wavy attacks. Because it's like it's melee or ranged with their tentacles. The tentacles do something and they could eat your brain or teleport you. That's a lot of story and not a lot of details.
Yeah, I agree that I don't exactly know what that's supposed to be, but I'm like, I guess I'm willing to interpret that as positive freedom rather than a good luck fucker.
It's a little bit it for me, like, so I'm gonna go, it's Mind Flayer, so I'm gonna go to Baldur's Gate 3. There's a scene in like the opening cinematic where the Nautiloid ship that the Mind Flayers are flying reaches down and like touches people on the ground and instantly teleports them into the ship, and it's kind of evoking that for me, except it's on the Mind Flayer instead of the
It is, except that they should in no way have a Mind Flayer Arcanist on that ship.
Oh,
because
right. No,
there's no way an
No,
older brain
no.
would tolerate that.
No,
right. Like there's just some serious heresy problems going on.
right. But it evokes that image.
Yeah.
Now, how does that equate to? And then I also got them to 0 hit points, so I magically devoured their brain. I guess I teleported the body over there and the brain into my mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say you teleport the brain right into your mouth. That's
Yeah.
standard procedure. I mean, it is interesting that they actually build it out as a complete stat block as opposed to just saying
Mhm.
this is the variant.
Well,
It's also
they made it different enough that it needs to be its own stat block.
It's
and it's also
CR
CR11 instead of
Yeah.
CR8. Yeah.
I mean, really, I'm just glad it's here because Mind Flayers get a ton more interesting in just everything when they have a conflict that they are also worried about and that motivates them. I really like that. It's like we've been talking about this a lot in an Edition War series that we're working on, but the Mind Flayer chapter of Lords of Radness is one of the best in the whole book.
Yeah.
Because they've got stuff to say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's always tricky dealing with aberrations that have motivations and intelligences beyond human comprehension. It's like, oh, that's great, but I'm a human, and it's hard for me to portray and know how to run them if I don't know, if it's impossible for me to understand their motives.
Will I get in trouble with the channel if I recommend mind-expanding drugs just so you can run?
I mean, I am 5 minutes from Michigan, where certain of those things are legal. So
the
Everything's
sadly, the best part of the Mind Flayer backstory that is in Lords of Madness does not get repeated here, which is their actual origin.
Yeah, the actual origin is pretty rad.
of the Arcanist specifically, or the Mind Flayers?
No, Mind Flayers in general. Yeah.
They come from the future, right? And they push themselves back in time to, be horrible. Basically.
Yeah, if we take over the universe sooner, maybe it won't end when it ended this time.
Interesting. There's an interesting interaction. We've been, well, it was a month or two ago, but we had a conversation on the Discord. I think it was mostly Jared and I talking about Spellweavers, and there's a similar story there. And now I've been working on and building ideas for my Spellweaver campaign, and I was like, oh, now I got to throw in some Mind Flayer stuff too, because they have similar motivations but different approaches.
A friend of the show, Dan Dillon, also observed that similarity. That is the plot of our Wednesday night game.
Oh, okay.
It's really, really sick. I really recommend it.
Nice.
So we're up against like a really awkward coalition of Spellweavers and all of their nonsense with the obelisks and so on.
Okay, so you're doing obelisk stuff too, because that's what I was going to use the Spellweavers for, is to explain the obelisks.
And then an Elder Brain, and it's a heretic Elder Brain. So it's like this Elder Brain has embraced Arcanism, which is why it works with Spellweavers. Right? Like we're these guys are way out over their skis. It makes them really desperate. It's a super interesting story because they're horribly powerful, but we're 15th level, and so it's not rocket tag in the way that high level third ed combat was, but man, everything is really dangerous.
Nice.
I would like to point out, under the Mind Flayer machinations, one of the Illithid's greatest hits, going back to a first edition Dragon Magazine article, is in there. Blot out the sun so Underdark dwelling servants can invade the surface. Mind Flayers apparently love trying to extinguish the sun. That just seems to be a thing.
I mean, further proof that Mr. Burns is one of the hated Gaik, right? but like create a new monstrous fusion between Mind Flayers and the legendary monster. Great, classic, never gets old. Look, Ceramorphosis, nailed it.
Yeah.
Like
Ceramorphosis
really
for listeners who don't know, ceramorphosis is the process by which Mind Flayers reproduce. They put a tadpole in your brain and it slowly takes over and transforms your body.
It's also an
how did
amazing
you
drag name. Amazing
Yes.
drag name.
There you go.
Also, how did you miss Baldur's Gate 3 at this point?
Who missed it?
No, I meant anybody that doesn't know what Ceramorphosis is.
They could be one of today's lucky 10,000, man. You don't know.
I would also like to say that's really interesting because I looked it up. Ulatharids are only 2 CR higher than a regular Mind Flayer.
Yeah.
I was thinking they were more impressive than that.
We'd have to go back to some previous editions and see where they got placed. But like they made choices in building the monster manuals to just locate things where they had gaps sometimes.
Yeah, I would have definitely placed an Ulatharid a little higher up than just 2 CR higher than a regular Mind Flayer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dan's going to also. We're about to run into one and it's going to be so bad. We're so host.
All right. Anything else on Mind Flayers?
One thing that strikes out, and maybe you all already talked about it and I just missed the words, but did we talk about this whole surface thing and teleporting? Like
that was a little weird.
So it can teleport a target up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space on a surface or liquid large enough to support the target. Which feels like a lot of thought went into that, and also I'm unclear why, because like the liquid could be molten rock.
Right. Well, the point is to dump you in the Elder Brain's like feeding trough.
But it's an Arcanist.
But why would the Arcanist be doing that?
I don't know.
It's got to be certain states. It's got to be a surface, although it doesn't say that it's got to be a solid surface. It's just got to be a surface. So I'm a little unclear what that means, really.
So the actual point of that is just they can't use this to generate falling damage.
Right.
Yeah,
they could dump you into like acid or
Yes,
like what is it about falling damage that is it just like we don't want to roll this dice?
Well, because there's not going to be acid and lava around all the time, but you can always drop somebody from however many feet.
Well, right. Like at minimum, you're looking at 3d6 bonus damage that they do not wish to account for. I'm guessing here, right? I have not had a conversation about this, but like.
Yeah,
probably there's some combination of they don't want 3d6 bonus damage. They do want them to kind of be able to use interesting hazards, right? But
it is a weird, like it feels like they could word it differently if they just didn't want you to drop someone. But I think you're absolutely right that's why it's phrased that way.
But right, it's just like odd because the DM gets to decide when the Arcanist shows up, right? So. They can easily just add all the hazards they want. It just seemed interesting. It took a lot of space up for I'm not sure what.
Yeah, and the liquid part is really the problematic part. If it was just a surface.
Well, right, they're a bit trying to sort of stop DMs from just being absolute jerks. Like they had some of the same weirdness in 4E with friggin' Tide of Iron, didn't they? Like, you can push someone. No, you can't push them up. Please shut up. We hate you.
And then, like, is liquid not a surface? And then, like, can you have a gas surface as long as it can support them? Like, I
bet that if you could find a better way to phrase that, that saved them column inches, they would be happy to cut you in. Because
maybe they should just said no jerks, don't just drop them. Be more creative.
Oh my god. Yeah. once you write a coherent rule that's like, and the DM is not allowed to be a bit of a prick. I mean, that's a great rule. I do
Oh,
like
no,
it.
no. The DM is allowed to be a bit of a prick. They're just not
Yeah.
allowed
Bit
to
of
be a
it.
big prick.
It's not a yeah.
No, they're just not allowed to do dropping damage. Like that's all they're not allowed
Right.
to do.
But like all those like cliff edges that could be in the Underdark, like cool, 100-foot pit, cool. There's have 10d6 damage on top of why not?
Right.
Like oh my God.
It
Because,
also
because
doesn't-
ultimately, you're not even avoiding the falling damage if you're in a dungeon or whatever, because I can teleport you 30 feet onto this surface that is vertical, and then you still fall immediately.
and it also technically says only that the surface or liquid has to be large enough to support the target, but doesn't require that it actually support the target. So you
Right.
could put it on a tipper.
Right.
Yeah, so treating a vertical surface as a valid answer there is definitely the absolute breaking point of hostile read that they can't
Yeah.
solve, right?
It
That's
doesn't
it
say
right there, you
horizontal
found it.
surface.
Right. But like the more you tighten your grasp, the more jerks will slip through your fingers.
There is a thing though that's kind of interesting to me about this, because arcane tentacles could be really neat for repositioning your enemies, but arcanists don't really have a lot of backup. Like I would love some explanation of what a Mind Flayer arcanist is going to have around them to help them out versus, Mind Flayers having other Mind Flayers.
Quackoffs, baby.
That's
Although,
yeah.
and it's worth noting the actual lore in this book for the Arcanist is not nearly as strong as the previous edition's lore. It just says other Mind Flayers view them with disgust and fear, not like they're hated enemies. They could just be there in the colony and people shun them.
There's also another weird thing that implies that if there's not an Elder Brain around, Mind Flayers end up fighting each other, which has not really been a issue with Mind Flayers in the past.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like
if
there's not an Elder Brain around, we make a new Elder Brain.
we have spent almost half an episode's worth of time talking about 2 stat blocks, and I made a reference in the introduction to mummies. So we need to get through some more.
All right.
Well, I did notice that you our guests, you only did the first 2, so I thought maybe
I almost always just do the first 2.
Well, it's time to cut the bull.
Yeah. Yes. Let's talk about Minotaurs, who are now specifically Minotaurs of Baphomet. They're no longer just Minotaurs. All Minotaurs are servants of Baphomet.
Well, no, the ones that you fight are servants of Baphomet because they figured out that people love to play Minotaur PC.
Oh.
They fucking love it, and we all know it.
But
pardon my language this evening, but I'm also not wrong.
No, but the funny thing about that, reading this immediately made me think, why didn't we get Gnolls of Yunagu then?
The mind does indeed boggle, my friend.
And also, like, people also love to play goblins or kobolds, but we still present them as also fightable stat blocks.
Right. I agree with you, and I don't actually think they needed the of Baphomet thing, except that these are more different probably from a PC playable Minotaur.
They're large for one
76
thing.
Hit points and large.
Yeah.
Than any goblin, though God help you, the creature type difference alone is enough of a problem for me and goblins.
I would argue that we could actually use 2 stat blocks here, a CR3 Minotaur and then like a CR5 or 6 Minotaur of Baphomet.
I am extremely into more higher CR Minotaurs. They are like it's just a great form factor to see in a fight.
Yeah. So how has the Minotaur changed besides now they all the ones you're fighting are of Baphomet?
Well, the glaive went to the abyss, and
Because before they didn't have a glaive, they had an axe.
Does a bunch of necrotic damage, but less slashing damage. And
It's also weird to me that the gore is now a recharge, as opposed to just like, if you could set up the conditions as such that you can gore, why shouldn't you be able to gore?
You have to like twist the horn and crank it back into place, and
Well, so what they're kind of going for is just a like combat story that changes in some way, rather than being the same basic attack every round. Mm-hmm. So, like, there's like in the right circumstance, gore is doing a lot of damage. Like that average 28 is phenomenal in a CR3, but they don't really want that to just keep happening round after round, because it breaks the math. It would push them to being CR4.
Right. It's very much the when you fight Rhino in a Spider-Man game. Like, Rhino isn't constantly charging, but every once in a while he will. And if he hits you, it's bad.
Right. And I mean, the damage of the Abyssal Glaive is very respectable. It's a average 3-point bump over the Great Axe, right? That's not a joke. I mean, the gore though is so much more damage than 5.0.
Yeah, gore really was just horns in the 2014.
Yeah.
It is a more interesting thing now. I also note though that they lost all their other features. They don't have charge anymore. They don't have labyrinthine recall, and they can't do the reckless attack anymore. That said, they kind of built labyrinthine recall into their skills. They gave them +7 to survival, which I guess is representing their ability to find their way through a maze.
Is it?
Nah, yeah.
I mean,
not the same, but I think that's what they're going for.
I agree with you. That's what they're going for. I think it does not maybe land great, but also, like, other than, man, if you're in a labyrinth, you damn well better see a Minotaur. You're also going to see Minotaurs not in labyrinths, right? Probably. They're not quite as necessarily a once per campaign encounter as a Medusa, like we talked about last time.
Right. And they kind of built the charge into the gore attack.
They did
a little bit. And then they just don't do reckless anymore, which is too bad. I thought that was an interesting way to play certain creatures, and Minotaurs are amongst them.
Yep.
I think that goes back to, though, are you going to tell someone when they're running a Minotaur, you should always have them rolling with advantage and getting hit with, it's a decision point, so it's removing a decision point.
Well, like, I'm not even sure how much they're scared of decision points, so much as just, man, look at the tyranny of the column inches on this bad boy. Like, that is it's literally a physically smaller stat block by a fair margin, even with a larger font size.
I commend them, actually, in that this stat block is really, really easy to run. And yet, because you have the two different kinds of attacks, and one of them is better, but on a recharge, it's arguably more interesting to run.
I think I'd agree with that, and I think that like, we would understand, and our handsome and talented listeners who are attractive to the gender they wish to be attractive to, and I know this for a fact, would also know Labyrinthine Recall should still be there. It's fine. Just they do that. Yeah, it's fine.
But I mean, your bare minimum that you want a Minotaur to do, which is be able to charge somebody and then hit them with something that is axe-like.
Yeah. Hit it with an axe. So I also like the Minotaur mazes. I like that they straight up support my FromSoft fantasy with number 3 in the Minotaur mazes. It's a poison swamp. But like actually, those are extremely FromSoft.
I don't hate the upgrade to a large either. As I look through my collection of minis, I have both medium size and large size Minotaur minis, I believe. So they were already like physically prepped for that, or at least WizKids was when they made the minis.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of that came from when they made them a player character species. They were medium. So I mean, you set that up that it's not just creature type that's different. It's literally the monstrous ones are larger hulking things.
And I'll tell you what, the art is, like, as is oftentimes the case for 5.5, is much more evocative, and that Minotaur seems a lot scarier than the 2014 version, which is just standing idly by.
Yep. I'd absolutely love to see another stat block somewhere in the 6 to 8 band that added some really gnarly Baphomet spellcasting.
Right.
I mean, let's go. Let's have a new satanic panic. Why not? Everything else sucks.
Right.
but you know, I have to bring up, they use a glaive, but I don't see a 5-branched bladed throwing item in here anywhere.
I will stab you through this internet. There's a long-running joke with my friend Colin that glaive is the most irresponsibly used of all weapon terms. Is it a strong weapon? Is it a short sword? Is it a polearm? Yes.
Isn't it also just sort of a short-handled axe thing from Buffy? Isn't that a glaive?
Sure. Why not?
So no, and the throne, the multi-bladed throne one is from, was that Beastmaster?
Kroll.
Okay. So we're going back to 80s fantasy movies.
Krull is not a good movie, but it is weirdly ambitious compared to some of the other 80s fantasy movies.
Movies can be great without being good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Are we ready to talk about Modrons then?
Well, I wanted to say one thing.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with Brennan that the mazes are good, but I think it would be cool maybe to do some burrowing monsters as the source of the tunnels and mazes, since they did, just a mine or sewer.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Like big burrowing insect guys. Yeah, that'd be really fun. Like, why are you here? I got stuck in a minute. Like, I'm just drawn to mazes, guys. I don't know. I'm not stuck. I move around fine. I'm just more comfortable if nobody else knows where they are.
Some people knit. Some people do puzzles. I go get lost in mazes. It's my thing.
Go get found in mazes, Jeff.
I go get found in mazes. All right, let's talk about Modrons. Modrons are a weird thing that was introduced to us, I believe, in Planescape of 2nd edition.
Nope, 1st edition.
Oh,
Monster Manual 2.
Oh, okay. I'm happy to be corrected. I was introduced to them through Planescape in 2nd edition. So, and definitely Planescape in 2nd edition did a lot with them.
Yeah.
And so they are from the plane of Mechanus, which is all about law and order and organization and what have you. And so they are these weird, almost biomechanical construct creatures that increase in power based on the number of sides that they have. So the weakest, the monodrone, is a sphere. Then you have the duodrone, which is a couple of cubes on top of each other. Then the tridrone, which is a 3-sided upside down pyramid. The quadrone, which is a cube. The pentadrone, which doesn't really have all the sides. It has weird, like, tentacles. It would, 5 tentacles, and each one has a different little face on it.
Yeah, it's a starfish
Oh.
guy.
Yeah, that's it.
I would just, because I'm afraid it will get lost. If you look at the Penadrone artwork, it looks like a walking hookah now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's smoking out of the middle.
Yeah.
Also, in did we lose one? 1, 2, 3,
no, there's
4, 5.
6 through 10 aren't included.
No, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't lose one in the update. But no, they're all there.
Oh, then. Just for fans who have not done the reading, there are modrons for 6 through 10 sides.
Well, there have been in previous editions. Have we gotten any of that in 5th?
Oh God, no.
No. It's interesting because, like the obelisks, modrons are one of the things that were little Easter eggs sprinkled into almost all of the published adventures from Wizards for a very long time that made me secretly kind of low-key think that they were building up to eventually doing the Great Modron March. And it doesn't, which was a 2nd edition adventure that involved modrons heavily, and then they kind of just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, the mysteries of the product schedule are indeed many and varied. They have, I don't know if they ever genuinely plan to do that. I do know that at one point they had to just can an entire book that was ready to go.
Right. Well, and they've also had issues where, like, they ended up doing books and they just didn't do the things that they were originally planning them to do, like Eye of Vecna. No, Eve of Ruin. There we go.
No, not Eye of Vecna. That is nowhere in that adventure.
Yes, exactly. Eve of Ruin, Vecna, Eve of Ruin, just doesn't do the thing they were originally planning on doing with it.
I was just going to point out, in the Planescape set that came out, they did have hextons, septons, octons, and nonatons.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So we got other modrons.
6 through 9, I guess.
Yeah.
And decatons. Sorry, I didn't
Oh.
scroll far enough down.
So you got all 10. Okay.
Uh,
So yeah, those are modrons, more or less in a nutshell. Most famously endeared into the hearts of gamers from back in the day, back in at least the 3rd edition days, with a well-known Quadrone PC in Planescape Torment, the video game.
Yep. I mean, one of the weird things about modrons to me is, if in 5.0 and 5.5, is that we have we have 5 stat blocks, all of which are CR2 or lower.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably could have expanded that range a lot and still had some room for the other 5 to be okay. Like, maybe the niche protection is not working, and like the monodrone and tridrone just aren't quite different enough to me.
No, I agree. And
I will also.
They used to also use weapons, and now they largely don't. They just throw gears at you.
I mean, I don't mind them throwing gears.
I don't
mind
mind
them throwing gears, though.
I don't mind some of them throwing gears. I don't need that to be the only ranged attack that all of them do. Except the Pentadrone, which shoots electricity at you.
Although, to be fair, you go to all of them using gears when almost all of them had javelins. So
at least the Quadrone used to have a bow or whatever. It almost looked like a little cherub.
Yep.
But mechanical.
And I mean, all of the art is just incredibly weird because it's sort of these oddly structured faces on things that are just the wrong shape completely to have a face.
Yep.
So
what if polyhedral shapes had human eyes and lips.
Yeah.
But more than most of 5.0 art, these do call back Dieter
Yeah.
right? So that's nice to see.
Now, there are 5 of these to go through. Is that going to take a long time? Are there significant changes? Or are they more or less statistically the same, except they throw gears now?
And
A
do
lot of
force
them-
damage, right?
Yeah.
So for the monodrone, we're looking at they do almost twice as much damage, right? It's still not very much damage, but it's twice as much of not very much.
Right. They also all lost their axiomatic mind, which was a little bit complex, and instead they all have just immunity to charm, which is trying to accomplish
I don't
the
even
same
know if
thing.
it was complex. It's conceptual.
Yeah, no,
Because
it's
as the DM, you had to have in mind this is what this Modron is programmed to do. It can't understand anything other than that if you try and make it do it.
Yep. And they kept disintegration, which is a very like Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century disintegration, which is to say, do they disintegrate you? Absolutely not.
they disintegrate themselves when they die. They don't leave any loot behind or even a body.
Yep.
I like to think it's because Primus is big on recycling.
Primus sucks. So,
wrong Primus.
Nope.
Oh. Is it canonically true that the Lord of Mechanist is also in a band?
No, it's canonically true that the Lord of Mechanus got replaced by Tenebris, who is Orcus. So Primus sucks. That's what that joke has been about all this time.
Right.
We're making that joke in this show for certainly more than 5 years.
Oh. Yeah, definitely.
It is 100% about Tenebris.
Well, I'm glad I finally got in on the joke.
So let's see, duo drones. Man, duo drones are just not very good in 5.0. They're a powerful weak. Multi-attack for 2 damage. Like, you just can't fit that much in CR1 quarter. You know what I'm saying?
At least now they got blades.
Yep.
They do 4 damage.
It's 4 damage. It sure is. That's the same as their javelins. But they have twice as many hit points, so that's something.
Yes, 11.
I think a lot of what this boils down to, Modrons aren't really in D&D to be combatants.
Oh.
No.
They're here to be D&D weirdness.
Very much so.
And they only really function as combatants in the Great Modron March because there's just so many of them.
Right, and if you're mowing them down as mooks, like you're the bad guy.
Right. Tracy, what are you trying to say?
Because we were talking about the hit points, the Red Duncan 64 pointed out that a subtle mechanical note that each one has the hit dice equal to its side.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's extremely fair, and also why? Like, if they had a mechanic that spent their hit dice, that would be so unusual, but also kind of neat. So Tri-drones, they're trying hard. So they have multi-attack to make 3 attacks. They have clockwork spear instead of fisting or javelining, right? They're not triple fisting it, but it's still doing 4 damage on a hit. So, like, they've gained another 5 hit points for the same reason. That's what a D4 plus 1 gets you.
Yep.
And so, like, it does kind of feel like they started with what they wanted the stats to be and just like figured out what CR that gave them, which is unusual for monster design, but it kind of follows so directly that it kind of feels that way. Quadrones are CR1. They have a mighty 22 hit points. If they wanted to have more hit points, they would have solved it with adding con. I just want to point that out. And they in 5.0 they made either 2 fist attacks or 4 short bow attacks. Now they make 4 slam or 4 gears launcher attacks. Like, I guess these guys know about the Gears of War franchise.
Here's the short bow never made a ton of sense to me anyway. They're little mechanical construct creatures. Why didn't they use crossbows? That seems to be the natural weapon.
I mean, Nordum agrees with you, right?
Right. The one from Torment, right?
Yeah. But they're flyers, so that's really helpful in making something happen.
Right.
And then Pentadrone with a mighty 5d10 plus 5 hit points. And like, they actually do get something more in the way of attacks. In 5.0, it's paralysis gas, which is kind of okay. That makes sense with the hookah look, right? And they make 5 arm attacks. None of them do very much damage, but there's a lot of them.
Right.
But
in the new version, they also have the electrical discharge. They gave them a ranged attack, basically.
Right. And you know, the paralysis gas is still that 5/6 recharge. The electrical discharge is because a range slam doesn't make sense. That's why it's there.
Right. Yep.
But range tentacles do.
Magic.
I do think it's funny that under the Modron operations, one of them is wage war with demons, slotty, or chaotic fae. What kind of war are these stats waging?
Well, Jared, see, they fight like the Russian army. If we just send more
overwhelming numbers,
if we send 100 more modern drones and they have bullets, we're fine.
Also didn't say win a war with against demons.
The handbook says we have to fight a war. It doesn't say we have to win it.
And ultimately it doesn't matter because Primus will then, Primus used to then recycle you.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know that we've ever gotten the origin of species for the Modrons to know like how they procreate and whatever. I just assume that they get rebuilt.
I feel like somewhere is mentioned there being like forges in Mechanus that churn them out.
Yep. So if you die, it's okay. We'll just build more. All right. Are we ready to move on to the mummy? As I realized that my goal was to get to mummies today, and now I realize if we stop at mummy, we'll have 1 M left. So let's see if we can finish the M's, but we are we don't want to go too horribly long.
And that is a serious lot of lore that got cut. Holy heck.
Oh,
for mummies?
Yeah.
Well, they used to have a ton of lore.
Really long lore section, right?
Yeah.
just a ton. And now, no. Just a very tidy couple paragraphs now. Mummy Resurrections is a cool idea.
In their defense, who doesn't know what a mummy is? Like anybody playing D&D has a vision of a mummy.
Right, for sure.
I do think, though, when you read a lot of the backstory that they put into the 2014 rules, they know there was a generation that grew up watching a certain movie.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more emphasis on this might have been somebody that was cursed because they did something horrible, not just this is a really old guy in a tomb that's guarding stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the Mummy Resurrections that Brandis was about to talk about comes in, is that you have your table of 8 different reasons that a mummy sort of reanimated and came back from the dead.
Yep. And there's, I mean, when the first one was defend a holy site, it was created to protect. Like, do we have to make them lawful evil? Maybe they're fine, actually. They can be fine. Like, other than, okay, it's undead, it's evil. Like, but what if? Hear me out.
Well, and how many of these specific things actually apply to the movie The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser mummy, right?
Right.
Defend a holy site. Well, there's all those little minor mummies that get summoned that would fit under there, or which would also fit under obey the summons of a mummy lord. Protect its descendants from an ancient threat.
There's the progeny.
Yeah, punish progeny of those who cursed it, reclaim the treasures robbed from its crypt.
Right.
Yeah. Serve those who speak the prayer on the tomb. Now, they failed to speak the prayer, but that was part of the lore in the movie. So, and was oppose an enemy's return to life. Is that not the plot of The Mummy 3, The Scorpion King?
We don't talk about that.
The Mummy 3 was separate from the Scorpion King.
Oh, okay. I thought one of them. I thought Mummy 3 involved the Scorpion King, and then Scorpion King was like the origin story.
No, the Mummy 3 is the one that should not have happened because they switched EVs, and there's no point in doing a third movie if you're going to switch EVs.
You had the best one. Don't fumble Rachel Weisz. It's pretty straightforward rules here. But also, the Scorpion King first shows up at the very end of 2, which is why you keep going, because Jesus, it's so bad.
I'm impressed that y'all are on top of your mummy lore. I've watched the first movie several times and the others like once when they came out.
I've seen The Mummy 2 one time. That was enough. I was so disappointed that it stuck with me.
So anyway, let's talk about mummies.
Yeah. So very low AC, that stays true. Decent number of hit points for their CR, but just they're intended to be very easy to hit, very much like zombies, right? I think that's what's going on there, and a fairly rare case of vulnerability to a common damage type.
It is interesting that they all have that vulnerability to fire.
Yep.
When they've expanded the lore to be like, yeah, sometimes they're wrapped in linen, sometimes they're wrapped in clay, sometimes they're preserved in peat bogs, sometimes they're preserved in ice. It's like, okay, well, the classic mummy that's dry and desiccated and has flammable wrappings around it, like the vulnerability to fire makes a lot more sense than a slimy peat bog mummy that's wrapped in clay. You know, that doesn't come off as vulnerable to fire to me.
Yep. But writing a different vulnerability for each thing also would have been unbearable.
Sure.
You can for sure have your mummy variant that has vulnerability to presumably thunder.
And in fairness, peat is a fuel. It is burned. So
yes,
but it's usually dry.
and a thing where, like, whenever you take any amount of fire damage, you gain burning. Okay, sure, that's fine. And so they've always had the mummy curse with the rotting fist, and they've got dreadful glare to hit you with a frightened condition. and they attack twice with their fists and once with Dreadful Glare. And that's more Rotting Fist attacks than they got before.
I say before they got one fist and one glare.
Yeah. Without really changing the damage output, and with getting rid of the additional save on
Yeah,
Rotting
you
Glare.
don't get to save now.
But a big, the big thing that changed is that they had damage resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, non-magical weapons, and they don't anymore. But their hit points haven't changed, which means
Their hit points are the same, and they're
which means that a lot of the math got shifted over into offense.
Mm-hmm. So they're a little easier to kill, but they're going to hit you a little harder.
Yeah, and in the balance, I'd say that probably makes them more dangerous, because if there's no save against Rotting Fist, once you get hit at all, that's more dangerous. That's bad.
They did remove the paralysis with Dreadful Glare now. It just frightens.
Okay. Yeah.
And what's interesting, and this has been true for a while, because the mummy is only CR3. That's not a very high CR powerful creature, but you pair it with the CR15 Mummy Lord. The Mummy Lord is badass and intended to be so. However, you envision a Mummy Lord with a bunch of mummy servants, and if I'm fighting a Mummy Lord, if I'm high enough level to fight a Mummy Lord, the mummies that come to its aid aren't really more than a momentary delay. They're not gonna.
Yeah, but they are potentially lowering your maximum hit points, which is a problem.
Well, and they're making you immune to healing, man. That's the target can't regain hit points with that curse.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad for you. And even just slowing you down in getting to the Mummy Lord and wrecking face is more opportunity for the Mummy Lord, well, in 5.0, to do something with that very extensive spell prep list. In 5.5, you're looking at channel negative energy, some spell casting, some of which is pretty nasty, and then more legendary actions. So there's a lot of stuff they can do, and the minions are just there to, if they buy even one round of effort from each character, great, nailed it, did your job.
There's a very subtle lore thing that I kind of miss, which is the old stat block said the languages that knew in life, and the new one says common plus 2 other languages. The old way kind of created that idea that it might be so old that it just doesn't know any modern languages. But as we all know, now that the multiverse is a setting, common was actually created in Sigil and is the same common spoken in every single world, and has been for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, because that's how languages work now.
It's easier. I enjoy that Whirlwind of Sand has gone from becoming, it used to be a legendary action, and is now a reaction, so they can just do that more often in interesting ways. But boy, the new Mummy Lord has really lost a lot of spells.
Oh yeah,
a lot of spells.
But they still have a good, reliable range attack in the form of channel negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
They just have an attack where they bring down the vibe. The energy is really negative.
And yet, that I don't know that makes up for throwing out a spiritual weapon on round 1 and using a bonus action every round to get an extra attack, or hitting you with harm is a lot scarier.
I mean, they still have harm.
Do they still have harm?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of their few spells, but harm and
7. Yeah, it just got lost in there. Yeah.
They also have the spell that they keep giving necromantic themed monsters that is completely worthless in combat, and that's Animate Dead.
Right.
So you can picture off screen there making the undead. and they need to put that in the stat block.
Sure. Might as well just give them Speak with the Dead instead,
Yeah. Since we were already talking about it, if you want to talk about the one that's more inspired by the Mummy, the whole Whirlwind of Sand is definitely that, concept.
They also, one of the spells they gained, they lost a lot of spells, but one of the spells they gained is an at-will dispel magic. That's not nothing. Like that they can just run around and turn off all of your buffs is a pretty big deal.
But as a CR15, that's not a good use of their time. Really.
Yeah, they can't substitute their multi-attack for spellcasting, so that's their action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're having to wade through their army of mummy servants, and they're up there just mocking you and dispelling, because that's what villains do sometimes.
Sure.
Then that's an interesting and evocative thing to play around with.
But it's really interesting that their multi-attack is just one of Rotting Fist or Channel Negative Energy, and then Dreadful Glare. Like that on the CR15, I'd expect just to see a more active round.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, they're acting in the off turn a lot with all those legendaries, but it's still a little surprising. So to Jeff's point, like I'm going to dispel magic on my turn because I still get to beat the crap out of you on your turn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And because I've been writing a ton of stat blocks, one of the things I noticed about Whirlwind of Sand is the oddity that the amount of AC boost is not its proficiency bonus. Because it's a parry, right? It's sort of parry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just used to seeing that consistently be equal to proficiency bonus.
I'm a little sad that they lost Blasphemous Word, not so much because of what it did, but I like the idea of just some horrible undead thing saying something so primordially bad that it causes injury.
Yeah.
The dark speech.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They about double their hit points.
Yeah, they are super tanky now.
Because they can't have damage immunity to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. Like, what we see in the movie is definitely you're going to shoot him with a gun. Why?
Right.
And
you still kind of have that effect in that it just has so many hit points. You shoot it with the gun and it doesn't do much.
I would still 187 isn't asymptotically weird. Huge puzzle.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded some kind of regeneration instead of but that's
I can see that.
Me with a lot of things that lost their immunity or resistance to non-magical weapons. I would like a lot more of those to have some form of regeneration to make up for it.
Part of the issue though is that doubling the hit points, I would argue, matters a lot more at CR15 than the resistance to non-magical weapons. Because at CR15, your PCs have access to magic, all of them. It's just not an issue.
Yeah. I mean, and it was a major design flaw, right?
Yeah.
To treat this as an immunity that mattered,
well, it's a little bit of a holdover. It was a little bit, I think, of 5e design trying to harken back to the feel of second and third, where that kind of thing was common, because the mechanics told a story.
Right. Well, it would specifically need to be a +2 or +3 or whatever weapon, right?
Right.
That was a big part of why it was even there. Then you're going to have a magic weapon, but your little +1, no.
Yeah.
Go away. Get a real sword.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
All right. Anything else on mummies? Do we want to do a quick run through of the 1, 2, 3, 4 myconids that we have here. Can we do that in a few minutes?
Yeah, that's it.
And that,
Yeah.
that way we'll finish the M's.
Yeah, we can do
So
that.
for people who don't know, myconids are underground dwelling mushroom people.
They sure
Featured heavily in the adventure Out of the Abyss, as well as in the video game Baldur's Gate 3.
And if you're fighting myconid sprouts, you're a bad person. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Myconid sprouts, those are your baby myconids. We
Yep.
did go from 3 stat blocks to 4 or 5 now. Well, if you count the Spore Servant, that's our new stat block.
Before we go in the stats, I'm just going to say the very big thing is the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cute.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I agree with you. It's great. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's huge. I don't want to say huge improvement, but for me, it is much more what I would love to see these guys as.
And it's very similar to the myconid as they've been depicted in Out of the Abyss and whatever. They appear more like that.
Although they're very interesting in Baldur's Gate 3, the aesthetic that they give them in there. And there's a very creepy factor to their appearance in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yep. And I just realized I said that we have a new stat block, but we don't. They had a Quaggoth Spore Servant in the previous version. They just filed off the Quaggoth part and said this is just a generic Spore Servant.
Yeah.
Because they use their spores and reanimate dead things to come back and work for them.
And essentially, nothing about the Quaggoth Spore Servant was inherently about Quaggoth, aside from blind sight 30 feet, blind beyond this radius.
Yeah. If you haven't played Out of the Abyss, then I'm sorry, but I will spoil this. Really cool thing about the myconid following you around is the rapport spores, because you just were able to telepathically communicate with other people in your party because the little guy was following you around.
Yeah. My players made sound effects like he squeaked every time he stepped. And one of the players that didn't do that, just his character just absolutely hated him because of it. It was hilarious.
They did get rid of their distress spores, which, I mean, that's a fairly easy thing to just kind of say is still happening, but I kind of miss it. The distress spores were basically, if it takes any damage, all the other myconids within 240 feet can feel its pain and know that it's being injured.
And that one's great for sort of being a nod to just mycelial connection.
Yeah.
Well, and you know how they fixed it? They gave them telepathy 240 feet, so they can just communicate that now.
Yeah.
Before they had no language. Now they have telepathy 240 feet.
Sure.
So. So any other changes to the myconids?
Well, so there's hit point changes all over the place.
Okay.
The myconid sprout previously had 7 hit points, so they went down from there. That was too high. So
way
3.
too dangerous. Overpowered sprouts.
But now they do an average of 3 damage, with 2 being poison. And the Spore Servant is all of CR1, and it has lost a few hit points. And myconid adult has lost a few hit points. There's a pattern here.
Yep.
Darn myconids are just way too powerful.
The damage is largely the same though for the slam attack.
Yeah.
On a lot of these.
They lost 2 uses per day of pacifying spores. Because I don't know. but really just because
it didn't come up that much anyway.
If you were fighting them and they used pacifying spores multiple rounds in a row to throw out a lot of minute duration stuns, woof.
Yeah.
So about minute duration stuns.
And they still have the minute duration stun, unlike
They do,
the
yeah.
Mind Flayers.
Yeah.
But
it's not
at-
AoE.
at an AC of 12 and 16 hit points, it's not going to last to do it 3 times in a day anyway.
No, absolutely not. And then we get the Myconid Sovereign, who has lost some hit points. And I don't know. There's a sort of an enormous stat block, all things considered. For a CR2, it's a lot of stat block. And I mean, it's actually quite a surprise to me that they include sun sickness for all of
Yeah,
these.
I was gonna mention that too, because it feels like the kind of thing they kind of got rid of in a lot of these monsters.
But I like what I take from that is sort of these are so not a threat in most situations. This is a trait that says, please help me. I am not a danger. Please help. And we've got the rapport spores, in case any PCs in your party have intelligence score of 2 or higher. Unlikely, I realize, but but yeah, like the whole deal is, why are you fighting them? They're fine. They don't want to hurt you. Just stop.
I mean, there were some jerks amongst them in Baldur's Gate 3, though.
Sure, and you can definitely tell stories that change that up, or are about this individual Myconid is a jerk or a threat. Fine, that's fine.
Well, and even in Out of the Abyss, they they're not the villain, but they're being manipulated by a villain to potentially make them a problem.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, okay, anything else in the M's? Yeah.
I mean, I do just like the idea that they aren't necessarily like raising up zombies, but it's effectively the same thing where all of a sudden, like, these spores are going to coat a dead body and it's going to get up and start swinging at you.
They're kind of making mushroom zombies. Yep. Absolutely. All right. Should we call that the end of the episode? It looks like we are. All right. So that's the end of the episode. I want to thank our guest, Jared. Where can people go if they want to get more Jared in their lives?
Well, you can find me on my podcast, Thaco with Advantage, that I do with my friend Ange, and you can find some stuff that I've written in the past at Gnome Stew and What Do I Know, JR? And
Brandis, if they want to get more Brandis in their life.
Well, you can find me on the Tome Show Discord. On Blue Sky, I'm Brandis Stoddard at bsky.social. My blog is brandisstoddard.com, and my Patreon is Brandis Stoddard.
I just finished City Council of Darkness. So did you work on that campaign?
Yeah, I did.
And then they had a trailer for the next Dimension 20 campaign. Did you work on that one too? It looked like it was toys.
I sure did.
Okay.
For a bunch of stuff for that one.
What's the system on that one?
I do not want to get fired.
Okay.
So
I suppose that's fair. We are streaming. I'm sure the episode won't come out until after it started, but the stream is live now, so that's fair.
Yeah. Jeff is just testing me to see if he
to
drop out.
Very good,
Jeff. Because of your favorite organizational scheme, we have more ends to deal with than we would have otherwise.
Yay! You mean a bunch of creatures that we would have been done with if they had been organized better?
But we would be done with the M's by now.
No, we'd still be in the D's because there'd be a lot of devils and demons and dragons to deal with all at once. So all right. I also want to say thank you to everyone who supports the show by being patrons over at patreon.com/thetome-show. Your support helps me pay the bills and makes the show possible. Thanks goes out to our higher tier patrons, Doug Palmer, Hyperlexic, Trash Panda, Michael Harrison, and Timothy Gutierrez. For as little as $1 a month, you can help me pay the bills and keep the show going and growing.
Awesome. And if you'd like to contact us, you can send email to tomeshow@gmail.com. And you can find us on the various social medias. Jeff is generally Squatch, SQUACH, and I'm Sarah Dark Magic. That's Sarah with an H.
And that is episode 405, where we missed monstrous malcontents with magic missiles made of mustard, as we discuss the monster manual for the 24th time in this episode of... Did you like that magic missile made of mustard there, Jared?
It's my
Right.
my daughter's least favorite spell, because every time one of her characters is about ready to kill something, one of the casters in the party will cast magic missile and finish it off.
No.
Kill
She's in her
stealer.
30s now, and that was happening to her when she was in middle school.
All right, and that is episode...
Well, everyone knows
405.
until you get the XP.
You gotta get that kill steal.
It's just it's all about last hitting. All right.
Right.
D&D is actually based on Dota and League of Legends. That's actually how it goes.
Yeah. Sorry, the rest of you don't get any XP for this.
All righty. Well, I'm going to let you all go. It is bedtime around here, so
Is recording off?
the